Aloha, my name is Joe Passantino. I'm the principal of the prestigious Princess Ruth Kaylee Kulani Middle School. I'm honored, humbled, and privileged to be the 2024 Hawaii State Principal of the Year. But none of this work is possible without the work that goes on with everybody else in this building. Previously, our school was called Central Middle School, but it was a really great opportunity in the past 2 years to rename our school. We were able to go to the Board of Education to have our name changed to its rightful place, which is Princess Ruth Kaylee Kulani Middle School. When we changed the name, it also gave us a great opportunity for a rebranding and then a re-promoting of what we were trying to do, and definitely share a positive message, not only with our staff and our community, but then our students. And we want everybody that steps foot on our campus to know how magical it is to be a part of this space. So our focus and our challenge on what we were trying to work at Kaylee Kulani when I came, initially test scores were the lowest in the state. Also, school quality survey results were also very low. So I knew initially when I was asked to come to Kaylee Kulani that the challenge was going to be great, but nothing greater than a low baseline where we can go up. But foundationally, we had to work on relationships with our faculty and staff. And if we did a good job with that, we could help create the culture and climate that was needed to make learning be successful. We focused on individual conversations, and many people would say relationships, rigor, and relevance. I like to talk about relationships, relationships, relationships. So we want it to be a really positive and powerful place, and we can create that place that extends into the classroom, and kids feel that kids kind of feed off that vibe, and everything becomes a lot more successful. Found a really great article by Harvard Business Law. One of the first things talked about promoting positive. Historically, when the school was called Central, I drove by it for 20 years. And one thing I always told myself is like, I never want to be at that place. So the message and just people's understanding of Central was not so positive. What allowed us to promote that positive was the name change, which allowed us to rebrand and then reinstituting social media and kind of having 1,000+ followers just dropping positive context. Things that kids were doing, things that teachers were doing, things that the school was doing, beautification projects, wild staff dances, just all the crazy stuff that was positive. And instead of other people writing our narrative, which sometimes comes out negative, we were in charge of promoting the positive. That really helped. It started changing the vibe on campus. It started changing the vibe in the community and the neighborhood. The article also talked about recognizing excellence. And I think we do this in many capacities, not only for the staff, but for the students. For our staff, we do a really cool, what we like to call takeaway chain. So if you've ever watched college football, we validate people on faculty meetings, and we share this really cool chain. And then we post them on Instagram, so that not only is it known within our school, but it's also known in our social media community. Those things, just engaging people, validating the work they did, also started to change the culture. And in that first year, we saw immediate results from the SQS by 30%. For our kids, we have quarter award ceremonies, and we validate the work that our kids not only do for academics, but for attendance. Attendance was also one of our challenge area on top of academics, but at one point, over 55% of the students were chronic absentees. So we celebrate students coming to school. A couple years ago, we created an attendance arcade, and just having a crazy idea and say, if we open a room at 7 o'clock, if we open a room, then will kids come early? And if kids come early, will then eat breakfast and be ready for school when the bell rings at 7:55 for class. And so that's what this room has come to be, a safe place, a fun place for kids to play, to engage, to create relationships with our adult staff in there, and to create relationships with students. It facilitates communication, helps with friendships. So it has really been successful for us and helped us to focus and bring more kids into school on time. Another thing the article talked about was challenge stress, inducing challenge stress to our faculty. Our school is a very challenging space, and we have to be ready for everything at a moment's notice. So how do we prepare for that? But inducing that challenge stress really helps us to align, and we do some of these things through icebreakers, the opening of school, we go to Kualoa Ranch to do some activities there. And we do things that are outside the box, but we make it fun so that people also want to be a part of this work. Two other key things that I read out of that article is giving staff voice and communicating often. We do a lot of surveys, we do a lot of forms, and we make them anonymous so we get really honest feedback. Sometimes that feedback hurts because you really think as a leader that you're doing the right thing, and when you read some of the responses, it's not what you expected, but that's what really helps you to grow and get better. The communication is critical. I put out an email every week of just telling what my schedule is. I communicate what the plan is. We have leadership meetings, we have organization meetings. The more we communicate, the less confusion there is on the whole campus. Building relationships is critical, and we are blessed with the 21 hours because sometimes there's not enough time in the day to do faculty meetings, and this 21 hours helps us. Some people may say, oh, it's too long, but what we do is we add food to the mix, and food always makes things special. And I like to equate the work we do at this school it's a family. So when we break bread with each other, we become a family unintentionally, but intentionally, right? It's like a conscious unconsciousness. So every plus 21 hours, there's food. And you can't be upset when you're eating and you're eating next to somebody. You immediately start talking story. And those stories create intentional relationships. So it's building relationships and focusing and investing in people, sending people to training, sending people to conferences, identifying what people want to learn and what people want to do, and then filling their bucket and helping them do those things. All of those things come back, and that return on investment for your school is so powerful. The article ended with the last point as showing vulnerability. And I think as an administrator, the goal is you're not the man who knows everything, and nobody ever can. So it's okay to say sorry if you messed up, to apologize, to reach out for help sometimes. So I think showing that vulnerability also allows other people, other teachers, other faculty members to see that they can also show vulnerability. And as a family, as one team, where we always say the we is greater than me, one person can't do this work. This work is too hard. But I like to tell our teachers that this is going to be the most profound work that they would ever do in their career. It's actually going to fill their bucket the most, right? They're building relationships, they're teaching foundational skills. On top of that, their goal is to get to grade level standards and content. And over time, we've seen each year academic success go up in math, in English, and science. We've seen the SQS go up from safety, involvement, engagement, people wanting to be a part of a school. And we always say that if we can make things happen here, you can go anywhere. This is a great training ground. Every challenge known to man will be at Kealiikalani. But it's the beauty of when you have solutions for those challenges and you work together and you make it all come together successfully together. So that article was really profound for me. I shared it with my leadership team. It's because of that article that many people bought in, and because they bought in, they're all in. It's a magical feeling to be a part of a team that's like that, and we've done it together. So when we get teachers fired up, when we fire up staff, we're going to definitely impact the students that walk these halls. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to share these. This is what has helped us in the past 3 years, past 3.5 years, to do the magic that we've created in this hallway. It's not just one person. We focus on the we, which is greater than the me, but we need the whole team to be this passionate, this inspired, this fired up to do this work. Everyone a leader, everyone a learner. We is greater than me. Let's go!